There's a huge universe out there. With a lot of galaxies.
Oh yeah, this one's gonna hurt. Welcome to Talking About the Movies, everybody, and of course we continue with the show that has me covering the biggest new releases of every weekend, and there is no bigger new release this weekend than the Super Mario Galaxy movie, the sequel to the big runaway hit of 3 years ago, the Super Mario Brothers movie, which ended up being in my top 5 favorite movies of 2023. So you figure with a sequel, they have... You know, the first movie kind of establishes the world that they've set up. They've shown what Illumination can do with the Nintendo characters in terms of a visual experience. And, yeah, the movie overall was a ton of fun. So you think with the second movie, they'd expand on the universe here, maybe continue on what they were doing for the previous films, slowly but surely introduce characters into the fold here. And, I wish that would happen, but, yeah, spoiler alert, it didn't. Oh, you want a story, huh? Well, here's their minimal amount of a story that they give you here on the page here for Wikipedia. In the film, Mario and Luigi and their friends adventure into outer space where they meet Princess Rosalina and face off against Bowser and his son Bowser Jr. That is the smallest amount of a plot that they give you, but trust me when I tell you, there is way too much plot in this movie. Not only is there way too much plot, but they meet Princess Rosalina, who's not even in the movie for a good amount of time here. We'll touch on that as we go along here. But they bring in some talent for this. Princess Rosalina is played by Brie Larson. Bowser, once again, is Jack Black. Bowser Jr. is played by Benny Safdie. We have Yoshi, who was introduced at the end of the last movie, played here by Donald Glover. If that was enough, if that was it right there, then there probably wouldn't be that much to say about it. I would probably say that, hey, you know, it's a fun movie overall, but no. This movie decided to not only did they decide not to just do a simple sequel, they decided to go nuts with this by throwing in all these different characters from the Mario universe and also combining other universes as well. We get Star Fox in this movie, voiced by Glenn Powell. We get Rob the Robot in this movie. There's little bits of Kirby in there if you watch closely with some of the stars in the movie. There's so many references and characters in this movie that if the script had been better handled, then I probably wouldn't have minded that much. But let me tell you people something. This is, without a doubt, a train wreck of a movie. This is the Batman v Superman of video game movies. Remember how Batman v Superman and Warner Brothers was going to set up their original DC cinematic universe by doing what Disney and Marvel did in half the time, and the results were a complete other train wreck from them, from all across the board, and very rarely few good movies. We didn't get Wonder Woman until Aquaman until very late on, when the damage was already done by that point. But they've done Universal and Illumination have done the exact same thing to the Super Mario Brothers movie that they did to Batman with Batman v Superman. This fucking sucked. This movie was unbelievable at how bad it was and how much they have regressed badly from the first movie. Like I said, I love the first movie. It was very high up in my favorite movies of 2023 because it worked as what it should have been. It's a movie where you're supposed to get introduced to this universe through Illumination. They're supposed to show you how they can do this world visually. Yeah, it's not the best overall story overall. It's basically just kind of okay, it's a fish out of water story. Let's just do this type of a story. But we're going to show people that, hey, we can make a Mario movie because of how well the visuals look in this. And sure enough, yes, the visuals are the best thing about the sequel. I mean, this movie does look incredible, but what do we always say here on this channel? Visuals don't make the fucking movie. Maybe I have to pound my hand on the table so you guys can realize that. Visuals don't make the fucking movie. See, the camera was shaking because of that, but you get the idea. The visuals are great, but tell a story. A real story. Don't give us the story where it's only threads of stories. Because let me tell you people something. The plot that they give you is that Universal put out there, that's not even the real plot of the movie. Rosalina doesn't even show up in the movie for less than 10 minutes. I kid you not. She's all over the marketing for this movie. She's only in the movie for about as many fingers as I have. 10 minutes. She's not the focus of the movie. What is the focus of the movie? Fuck if we know. But hey, look at all these references. Look, we've got Baby Mario and Luigi. Look, we've got Dry Bowser. Look, we've got Birdo. Look, we're bringing in Star Fox. Just like, oh my god. Just stop. Like, this movie is everything that was wrong. Everything that's wrong with making a movie was that Batman v Superman did wrong. Because Batman v Superman did the exact same thing that this movie did. They're trying to set up future movies, future properties, instead of telling a story, continuing what you had started with the first movie. And it's coincidental that this is coming out 10 years after Batman v Superman, and this is coming 3 years after Super Mario Brothers. When did Man of Steel come out? 3 years prior to Batman v Superman. I mean, it's literally going in that same formula. Like, I mean, this movie, let me put it this way. I kind of knew something was off from the moment they first announced this movie, and it felt like they were rushing the movie along. They weren't even waiting until a year after the movie came out to already announce when the sequel was coming out. I mean, we should have known right there that something didn't smell right in Denmark. But then, as the trailers kept pushing these different characters they're adding into the film, I mean, for God's sakes, they spoiled Star Fox days before the movie came out. They had a whole thing on social media where Glenn Powell showed up as Star Fox. Why? Why would you set up one of the big surprises in the movie? Can you imagine what this movie would have been like if they'd not set that up and you had to go see the movie to find out? I mean, it's just, this whole movie is an unmitigated disaster. The script is awful. You could just tell that Universal basically told the people who were making this movie, listen, did you see how much money we just made on the Super Mario Brothers movie? No, we're not going to wait. We're not going to pussyfoot around with this. You get us a movie right now. Sir, we don't have a script. But it's like, what did I just tell you? Get a script. Get this movie out in theaters soon. Now. Like, you get the idea. They rushed this movie along. I have to clean up the mess I made over here, so there we go. But, yeah, they rushed this movie along because you could tell no thought went into the script whatsoever. They had ideas of what they wanted to try to do here, like bringing Bowser Jr. in here. There's a whole thing where, when we first meet Bowser Jr. and he goes after Mario and Luigi and Bowser in the kingdom, the whole thing is, setting up for this big action sequence, and then all of a sudden it just stops where Bowser goes like, I've been a horrible father. Can you guys show me how to be a better father? It's just like, what? Like, I mean, this literally happens after this fight sequence, and the film just starts going off on its own tangents, and it's just kind of like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? And it's like that the entire movie. This movie doesn't have a plot. This movie is like an anthology of various things that are going on throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, you have a subplot with Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi. You also have a subplot with them trying to keep Bowser from getting out from his son, who's trying to break him out. You have Princess Peach going after her sister. You have a subplot where they go to a casino. They have a subplot where they introduce Star Fox. They have a subplot with the stars involved. It's just like what is going on here? Why are we doing all these subplots in here? Like, I really had to figure out, because I saw this early in the morning today. I was baffled, but I had heard out the word of mouth on how the film was very poorly received by people. But then again, the first movie was also poorly received by people. People didn't really take to the first film who were not really Super Mario fans. And on some levels, yes, this will appeal to the Mario fans and kids will enjoy it. But you know what? Kids, to quote Wayne's World, kids know dick. I mean, the way this movie is saying it, oh, it's just for kids. Why can't you just accept that? Kids will like it. Kids will like anything. That's exactly. Kids will like anything. You can tell them that a piece of shit is actually, no, Billy, it's actually molded chocolate. Don't mind the smell and all that, but you can use it like Play-Doh, like sand and all that type of stuff. Like, if you told them that they would probably believe you because you said that, oh, kids will like anything. It's just like, yeah, kids will like anything, but you know what kids would really like? To not be treated like kids when they watch these movies. Like a movie like this is an insult to some of the older films from older kids films from back in the day that didn't talk down to kids like they were idiots. They didn't give kids the cold shoulder and all that type of stuff. And it's unfortunately a movie like this comes around where it's gonna make a ton of money no matter what, and sadly they're gonna take a lot from this movie. And the worst part about it is, we're already starting to see the after effects of what happened the year before with the Minecraft movie, and you cannot convince me that the success of the Minecraft movie played a big part in the script that they put together, because nothing about this makes any sense whatsoever. The comedy isn't that funny overall. The movie is just a cluttered mess of a film on so many levels. Here's what the Super Mario Brothers movie should have done. What Nintendo and Illumination should have done. They should have taken notes from how Paramount handled the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. They should have looked at what the Sonic the Hedgehog movies did, because the first movie was a generic fish out of water story with Sonic coming into our world, but it was a fun movie. It worked because the people who made that movie knew the source material, and they knew how to make a film that was kind of a fish out of water story, but also keep it in coherent with the games in general. And then slowly but surely they started bringing in the other characters, like at the end of the first movie, Tails comes into play. Tails comes into the second movie, and we also get Knuckles. It doesn't feel like we're forcing them in there, and it feels right to have them both in the movie. The third film, with Shadow the Hedgehog, every time they introduce a new character, it doesn't feel like they're just pushing it in because, oh, geez, look at how much money we can make off of this. There's a point to it. There's a story that's being developed with all these films, and each of those films gets better and better and better with every film. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is still yet to come out, so we don't know what's going to happen there, but judging by what they've done so far, I'm putting my faith in them more than I'm putting my faith into these guys right here. Like, the whole thing with bringing Star Fox in here, Glenn Powell actually came in to them to pitch a Star Fox movie, and they basically said, you know, you should come in and do our movie first, and then we'll talk about that. Just like it just feels he feels unnecessary to be in here. I mean, he's fine in the movie, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, there's no reason for this character to be in here except the fact that, oh, well, they're in outer space, and he's in there talking about other universes, just like. Okay, and? Like, it doesn't serve a purpose here. Like, nothing about this movie's decisions make any sense whatsoever. There's nothing about this movie that works. There's nothing about this movie that's engaging. I take that back. I'll talk about the few brief things I do like about the movie. One is the animation. Two, I like Donald Glover as Yoshi. I was actually kind of surprised at how much I liked that. And I'm really surprised that I like that more than I liked his Simba from the Lion King remake. I mean, when you think Donald Glover as Simba from the Lion King remake, you think to yourself, oh, that's an instant winner right there. Donald Glover's amazing. And then you see the movie, and they barely give him anything to do, and they look like they used the first takes, and that's about it. Don't even try to get Donald Glover to act right. But other than that, though, there's nothing about this movie that's good. This is an insult to the first movie in general, and it feels like an insult to Nintendo for allowing Illumination to do this to their properties with the second film overall. But I'm starting to realize this is what Illumination sequels are like. They are very much... Illumination doesn't make sequels where where you actually continue the story and move on and try to expand on it. No. No, you do these little anthology type of stories, little subplots, so there's at least a thread of a storyline. Because this has happened with the Despicable Me movies. This happened with The Secret Life of Pets 2. I mean, the only sequel that didn't do that was the Sing movies, and the Sing movies are probably the best movies that this studio has ever done. This just is such a joke on this franchise that's beginning anew, and the worst part about it is, it's probably gonna because it's gonna be a success. They're gonna look at this and think to themselves, well, this is the new norm of how we make these movies. Screw actually putting a plot together. Just throw in as many Nintendo characters as we can in this movie, and we've got gold, baby. Like, I'm willing to bet you the next one's going to be the Super Smash Brothers movie, and they're going to bring in Zelda, they're going to bring in Pikachu. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen with the next movie. Just you wait and see. I can't believe how bad this movie was, and this has been the most disappointed I've been with a movie in a long, long time, because I expect a lot better with a second movie from a really good first movie. You know, and Illumination, man, just, they frustrate me. Because every time I think Illumination is finally going to find that Pixar light and start putting out good movies one by one. You know, after the Super Mario Bros. Movie, what was their next movie? Migration, one of my favorite movies from them. And then they followed up with Despicable Me 4. And then this movie. Like, they frustrate me because every time I get excited for what they do next, they disappoint me in worse ways than one. I'm like Al Pacino in The Godfather Part 3. Just when I thought it was out, they pulled me back in. And then they disappoint me afterwards. It's just like, I just don't trust these guys anymore. These guys are just, they are so uneven, and they care more about making movies that little kids will like, and their parents will will try not to want to kill their kids for forcing them to watch this garbage. I mean, that's what these movies have basically become. Just babysitters. They're nothing but babysitters. I mean, you can basically put a thing of keychains in front of them when it is. I mean, that's more entertaining than watching a movie like this. This is. I'm flabbergasted. I was not expecting this movie to be as bad as it was, but yeah, this movie is absolutely terrible. And coming from somebody who who really likes this franchise, really loves the first movie, I was disappointed by the end result, because this is a movie that should have been so much better. They should have expanded the story. They shouldn't have gone in to throw all these pointless Easter eggs and characters that absolutely have no sense whatsoever. The subplots are terribly put together. Characters they promise are in the movie for a much bigger amount of time are barely in the movie. This movie is a joke. This is an unbelievable mess of a movie, man. This is the worst movie I've seen in 2026. I mean, just from the fact that everything they were building up beforehand, and this was the end result that came from it. I'm disappointed by you guys. I really, really am. I'm probably going to be one of the more negative reviews for this movie, but I'm sorry. I got to call a turd a turd, and this is a steaming goat turd of a movie. Yeah, just... fuck this movie, man. Just fuck this movie. Sorry for swearing, but I'm sorry. That's how mad this movie made me. So, yeah, needless to say, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs way down. I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much. You know, I feel a little bit better now getting that out there. And like I said, I'm probably going to be one of the few really negative people with my review for this, but I'm sorry. I got to call something bad when it's something bad, and this is something really, really bad. Illumination, Universal, Nintendo, I am ashamed of all of you. You motherfuckers ruined an opportunity to make a really good Super Mario Brothers sequel, and instead you just did nothing but wanted all that money, baby, and yeah, just... I got nothing else for you, man. So we'll try to see if Universal can make amends with their next movie next week when we take a look at Haley Bailey and Rich D. Payne's and You, Me, and Tuscany, which is supposedly a movie that they are really hyping up to be a movie that has to be important because, you know, the future of black romantic comedies is on the line with this. If it was that important, I think we'd be seeing more than just a couple of commercials on TV, just saying, but... I mean, we'll see what happens. I want to see it, though. It does have two people are really liking it, so hopefully it'll turn out to be good. One would hope, but we'll see. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down below on the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I'm sure a lot of you are going to have my thoughts about what you think of it. Probably going to tell me I'm wrong because I said it was awful, but I'm sorry. I got to call it for what it is, a bad, bad movie. So with that said, thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you guys next week for the next review. If you want to see some more reviews I did, check out our playlist and check out the last review I did for Project Hail Mary, a movie I did really enjoy. But if you did like this, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification button, and I will see you guys on the next episode. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.